And we welcome you to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez. I will be your play-by-play announcer for tonight's ball game. This game will feature the visiting team, the San Diego, California Waves, versus the home team, the Seattle Washington Studs. The San Diego Waves and the Studs both come out of Pool A. They both come in with a 1-1 records, where the Waves are -2, as they won 3-2 over the Texas Express, and they lost 8-5 to the Cheney Diamond Dogs. San Diego, California Waves are out of the Pacific International League, and they are 34-12. The Seattle Washington Studs, also out of Pool A, they are 1-1, as they lost 5-4 to the Cheney Diamond Dogs, and they won 2-0 over the Texas Express. And they are 34-12. Starting lineups, first of all, for the visiting team, the Waves, leading off and playing right field, will be number 4, Griffin Teicher. Batting second, the left fielder, number 5, Derek Legaza. Batting third will be the first baseman, number 22, Drew Thomas. Batting fourth and catching, number 24, Jake Rico. Batting fifth and playing center field will be number 7, Jimmy McClanahan. Batting sixth and playing shortstop will be number 11, Jai Kabatabat. There we go, Kabatabat. I knew I was going to get that one mixed up. Next batting is 7th, the second baseman, number 9, Mason Stiles. Batting 8th and playing third base will be number 8, Mitch Morales. Batting 9th and DH will be number 25, Kiefer Morgan. And pitching for the Waves will be number 17, Stephen Dennis. Leading off for Seattle will be the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. Batting second, the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. Batting third and playing third base, number 28, Colin Wolf. Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 34, Jack Pauly. Batting fifth and playing first base will be number 24, Mason Quinion. Batting sixth and playing DH will be number 23, Brendan Hancock. Batting seventh to play left field, number 3, Henry Cheney. Batting eighth and catching will be number 7, Brady Hinkle. Batting ninth and playing center field will be number 16, R.J. Green. And pitching for the Studs will be number 32, Rowan Kennedy. We're ready to get started. Leading off for the Waves will be the right fielder, number 4, Griffin Teicher. So we're ready to get started. First pitch is strike one to Griffin Teicher. That ball lifted into left field. That's going to be in for a base hit, as that hit right in the line area. And stopping at second base will be Griffin Teicher with a double to lead off the ball game. Wasn't sure if that was going to stay in or not, and that was in by a good 2 feet. Now batting will be the left fielder, number 5, Derek Legaza. So the first base runner on base is a double by Teicher. First pitch is ball 1. The Studs are coached by head coach Barry Aiden, assisted by Stephen Potter, Chris Remington, and David Benson. Bunt laid down there by Legaza. Picking up the ball is Wolf, going Quinion for out number 1. Moving over to third base on a sacrifice by Legaza is Teicher. So he'll be on at third base. So sacrifice bunt. And I'll bring up the first baseman, number 22, Drew Thomas. That ball lifted into left field. Left fielder Cheney making the catch, and here comes the throw, and here comes the runner. That ball bounces high, and Hinkle not able to get to it. So a run will score for the San Diego Waves, and a RBI by Drew Thomas as he flew that out to left field for the second out. That will bring up the catcher, number 24, Jake Rico. A nice tag up there by Griffin Tiger as he scores the first run for the Waves. 1-0 in favor of San Diego as we're just started here in the top half of the first inning. That ball hit hard into left field. That will be a base hit by Jake Rico. That is the second hit of the ball game for the San Diego Waves. That will bring up the center fielder, number 7, Jimmy McClanahan. So getting hit hard is Merle Rowan Kennedy. First pitch is strike one to McClanahan. Second pitch missing outside, so that will even up the count now at 1 strike. That one hit to the right-hand side. Strash moves to his left, goes to Quinion for out number 3. So at the end of 1/2 inning play, it is the Waves 1 and the Studs coming to bat. You're watching the live stream courtesy of Park City. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Scott Stiles, General Manager of Wichita Burner, right here in beautiful downtown Wichita. I know how important it is to be on a winning team. My winning team of Jim Myers, Ashley Jansen, and Jeff Markowitz are here every day to provide you with the best customer service for your boiler and burner needs. On behalf of our team, we want to wish you and your team the best of luck at this year's 85th Annual NBC World Series. And welcome to Wichita.
And we welcome you back to X Stadium as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Pitching for the San Diego, California Waves will be number 17, Stephen Dennis. Defensively for the Waves at first base, number 22, Thomas. Second baseman will be number 9, Stiles. Batting, or correction, at shortstop will be number 11, Kabatabat. Third baseman, number 8, Morales. Left fielder, number 5, Lagaza. Center fielder, number 7, McClanahan. Right fielder, number 4, Tiger. Catcher, number 24, Rico. And pitching, 17, Stephen Dennis. And leading off the bottom half of the first inning for the Seattle Washington Studs, second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. First pitch by Dennis at 80 miles an hour, missing outside for ball 1. Strash is from Skyline, Washington, a 5'9", 170 pounders. Second pitch in there for call, strike 1, so the count will even up now at 1 ball, 1 strike. That one missing for ball two. 2-1 now the count to Kyle Strash. On deck is Grant and Wolf in the hole. That one fouled left along the third base side. So the count is now 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kyle Strash. Both of these teams, 2 teams, have already qualified to go into elimination round, which will start on Wednesday. The Cheney Diamond Dogs have already secured the number 1 spot in Pool A. So they are fighting for second and third spot. It will depend on where they will go in on the bracket. That one missing outside for ball 4. So Strash will get on base on a base on balls. And I'll bring up the shortstop number 5, Gavin Grant. Grant is a right-handed batter, squares around the bunt and has to get out of the way, as that was high and inside to Grant. Grant is a 6-foot, 180-pounder. He went to Tacoma Community College, where he's a freshman. And here's the second pitch to him. He squares around the bunts and lays one down right towards second base. First baseman has to come over to the right and make that play, but nobody was not being able to go to first base because nobody was there to cover. So a base hit there by Gavin Grant, and that would move Strash over to second base. So now we have runners at first and second with no outs for the Seattle Studs. Now batting the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. Once again, if you just now join us, we are in the bottom half of the first inning. The score, the San Diego, California Waves 1 and the Seattle Studs 0. Another bunt laid down. What a perfect bunt there by Wolf. Oh, I tell you what, you couldn't have put a prettier bunt down as he hit that right down first base side. And Colin Wolf is in with a base hit, as that is the second hit of the ball game, a second bunt laid down for a base hit. Bring up the right fielder, number 34, Jack Pauley. First pitch to Pauley. That one hit into left field. That should be far enough. What a great diving catch there by the left fielder, Derek Lagaza, as he headed towards center field making that catch, but tagging up from third base is Kyle Strash. So Pauley gets a sacrifice fly and an RBI. And I'll bring up the first baseman, number 24, Mason Quinion. First pitch swinging for strike 1. Runner goes from second base is Grant with a stolen base to third base now. Very aggressive ball playing by the Seattle Studs, as they have tied up the ball game here at 1 apiece, but now have runners at first and third with 1 down, and Mason Quinion up at the plate. And the Seattle Stud fans now clapping their hands in unison. There's a hard hit ball up the middle that is off the second baseman's glove. That's going to go out into center field. Grant scores from third base, and moving over to third base is Colin Wolf. And in with a base hit is Mason Quinion. as he gets a base hit and an RBI. That will bring up the designated hitter, number 23, Brennan Hancock. That went bouncing in front of home plate. That gets away. And there's the throw. He's going to be safe at home place. And running over to second base is Quinion. So another run scores. Now takes the score to 3-1 in favor of the Studs. As that ball bounced in front of home plate. Got by the catcher. Throw was there, but not in time. As Wolf slid in safely at home base. Once again, Quinion went to second base on the play. Hancock up there with 1 ball, no strike now. Ball is flied out to the third baseman. Third baseman will get under it. Makes the catch for out number 2. It's going to bring up the left fielder, number 3, Henry Cheney will now be batting for the Studs. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. As Stephen Dennis is in a jam here in the bottom half of the first inning. The score is 3-1 in favor of the Seattle Studs. There is runner at second base with 2 down. And here's Dennis's pitch. Missing for ball 2 at 9 miles an hour. Dennis looking the runner back. Here's the pitch. Missing high for ball 3 now. So 3-0 now the count to Henry Cheney. And that one called strike 1. So 3-1 now the count. This is the 7th batter in the line in this inning to come to the plate for the Seattle Studs. That one missing high, so Cheney will be on with a base on balls. And that will put runners at first and second. That'll bring up the catcher, number 7, Brady Hinkle. As we have runners at first and second, 2 down. Here in the bottom half of the first inning, if you're just now joining us, you're watching the Seattle Washington Studs and the San Diego, California Waves. That one popped up into the infield. Second shortstop backing up for the Waves. Kabatabat makes the catch for out number 3. You're listening to NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I see my daughter, a strong and independent woman, a skilled expert, living her life, and an inspiration to others. What do you see?
And we welcome you back to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. As we go to the top half of the second inning, the score is 3-1 in favor of Seattle. Leading off the top half of the second inning for the Waves will be the shortstop, number 11, Jai Kabatabat. First pitch is called strike one to Kabatabat. And here's the pitch. That one fouled off to the left-hand side, so the count will go down to no balls and 2 strikes. An 86-mile-an-hour fastball by Rowan Kinney. That one hits Kabatabat in the back, so he will be moving over to first base as a hits batsman. We'll bring up the second baseman, number 9, Mason Stites. Stites attempts to make a bunt lay down, but that is fouled off. Stites is from Blue Springs, Missouri. He's a 6'3", 195-pounder. He's a junior out of Butler University. 0-2 now the count to Stites. Morales on deck with Morgan in the hole. That one hit into left center field. A center fielder was able to move to his right. Nice catch there by R.J. Green for out number 1. R.J. looks like he's got some wheels there as he went quite a ways to make the catch for the first out. It's going to bring up the third baseman, number 8, Mitch Morales. So Morales now up at the plate. Going to give you some scores from earlier. In our first game at 1 o'clock, it was the Cheney Kansas Diamond Dogs winners over the Texas Express, 13-4. And Cheney finishes undefeated in pool play as they are 3-0. In the second game, Fairbanks, Alaska Gold Panthers defeated San Antonio, Texas Angels 13-0 in 5 innings. That ball hit hard into over left field. That's going to be a ground rule double by Mitch Morales. That was hit into the gap. Took one bounce and bounced over the fence. So Kabatabat will be at third base now. Morales will be at second on that ground rule double. That'll bring up the designated hitter, number 25, Kiefer Morgan. And then in our third game, the feature game, it was the Colorado Cyclones beating the Kansas Cannons 8-4. So the Cyclones will get the number 2 seed, and the Cannons the number 3 seed in their pool. Swing and a miss there by Morgan. And I'll give you the breakdown on the pools here in a little bit. Count is no balls, 1 strike now to Morgan. That one getting by the catcher, but it bounces right back at him to where Kabatabat had nowhere to go. So he stays at third base along with Morales at second. I think that kind of that fooled the catcher. Henko has that as he kind of squatted down, and that was thrown high with a fastball. Once the ball got away, but it bounced right back to Henkel. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at second and third, and 1 down. That pitch missing outside for ball 2. As we are in the top half of the second inning, the score is the Seattle Washington Studs 3 and the San Diego, California Waves won. All 4 runs were scored in the first inning. The Waves scored first. There's a swing and a miss there by Morgan. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one fouled off to the right-hand side. Count will stay the same at 2-2. That ball hit hard along the third base side, but it is foul. So we'll go again at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third with 1 down here in the top half of the second inning. Beautiful evening here in Wichita, Kansas, for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. That one's fouled off to the right-hand side, and getting under it is first baseman Quinion, making the catch for out number 2. That'll bring up the right fielder, number 4, Griffin Teicher. Teicher started off things with a double and scored a run. And here's Rowan Kennedy's pitch, fouled off for strike 1. Teicher was coming into the ball game batting 0 for 2 in the World Series, but he's already got his first hit here in the World Series tonight. Swing and a miss there by Teicher, as the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Runners at second and third with 2 down now. Here the top half of the second. 83 degrees here in Wichita. And call strike 3 for out number 3. So at the end of 1.5, it is the Studs 3 and the Waves 1. And you're listening to NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
From the sea, come to you. I heard the laughing. Come from the sea, come to you. I'm someone like you. Na 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 na. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. And I'm going to Wichita.
Learn more at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back to X Stadium as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. You're watching the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Leading off for the Seattle Studs will be the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green. I believe I told you the coaches for the Studs, but I didn't get a chance to tell you the coaches for the Wave. The head coach for the Waves is Greg Lundquist, assisted by Mike Studer and Jason Meisher. And I'm missing my old buddy, the legendary pitching coach John Shin, who retired a couple years ago. Said he may be back in Wichita here this championship week, depending on how the San Diego Wave do. Looking forward to it. Maybe we'll get another chicken fried dinner here. That one called strike two, so the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. As we are in the bottom half of the second inning, 3-1 in favor of Seattle. That one hit to the right-hand side and booted by Stites. And R.J. Green will be on at first base with an error to the second baseman. That will bring up the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. Strash reached on base on balls in the first inning and scored a run on a sacrifice fly by Jack Pauley. Count goes to 2 balls, no strikes now to Strash. And here's the pitch by Dennis. 79 mile an hour right in there for a strike. 2-1 now the count. Let's get a runner on at first base as we had an error on the second baseman. We have no outs here in the bottom half thing. There goes Green to second base, and no throw down, a stolen base there by Green. Boy, the Seattle Washington Studs have really come out aggressive here this ball game. They're stealing bases, making hits when they need to. That one there was basically on Steven Dennis because Green took off before the pitch. Bunt laid down, another bunt there by Strash, and he's going to be on with his first hit of the game. That is the third bunt single here of the ball game for the Seattle Studs. So great job there by Strash, as now there is runners on at first and third as Green moves to third base on that play. That will bring up the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. Scored on a base hit and scored a run. Was on a base hit and scored a run. And Grant was one of the 3 singles on a bunt there so far for the Studs. That one was high for ball 1. Look for him to lay down another one down. He squares around, and this time he fouls it off. He kind of got underneath it that time. He was lucky that it didn't pop up any higher, but it was in foul territory. Seattle just does what it needs to do to get base runners in scoring position. And here's the pitch. That one up high for ball 2, so the count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike. We have runners at first and third with no out here in the bottom half of the second inning. And the Studs threatening to put another run across. That bunt attempt is, as he pulls back, his pitch was high. So now the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. And nobody really up yet for Seattle. There is a couple guys just starting to stretch their arms. They're swinging a miss there by Grant, as the count goes full now at 3-2. We'll see what the runner at first base, Strash, does here, as he may be taken off on the pitch here. Now he plays it safe, and the ball's hit into short right center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit by Grant. A run will score, and Green will come in from third base. Going to second base will be Strash, and Grant records his second hit of the ball game and an RBI. And it will bring up the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. And here comes coach for the San Diego Wave to talk to Stephen Dennis. The score now 4-1 in favor of the Seattle Studs, as they have 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors. And San Diego, California Waves have 1 run on 3 hits and 1 error. There is runners on at first and second with no out here in the bottom half of the second inning. That brings up the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. And now warming up out in the right field side. A bunt laid down there by Wolf, and pitcher Dennis picks it up, goes to first, so a sacrifice by Wolf. As Strash goes to third base, Grant moves to second. And now there is 1 down here in the bottom half of the second inning. That will bring up the right fielder, number 34, Jack Pauly. Pauly had a sacrifice fly and scored an RBI in the first inning. The infield is in now. That one hit hard to the right-hand side, first base side, and it goes foul. Once again, the infield in as they're trying to prevent more runs from scoring. As Strash is at third base and Grant at second. Trying to get a line shot or something. There's a ball hit to the left-hand side, on third base side, and that's in the Waves bullpen. So the count is no balls, 2 strikes to Jack Pauly, the right fielder for the Seattle Studs. We hope you're enjoying the call here tonight. And here's Dennis's pitch. That one bounces in front of home plate, and Rico had to chase it down back behind him to his left, but was able to get to it. Nobody advances. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. And here's Dennis's pitch. That one popped up to the left side. Third baseman Morales going out, also Kabatabat, and he makes the catch out in foul territory for out number 2. So a fly out to the shortstop for the second out. Kabatabat covered a lot of room on that. That will bring up the first baseman, number 24, Mason Quinion. So Quinion's up there with runners at second and third, and 2 down here in the bottom half of the second inning. 4-1 is the score. There's a hard hit ball to the third baseman, Morales, and not going to be able to control it. So a Strash scores from third base. Grant moves over to third, and Quinion will be on. And I believe that's probably going to be an error on the third baseman. It is. As the official score, the Hall of Famer, Michael Dean, puts up an E5. And now the score is 5-1 in favor of the Seattle Studs. That's the second error of the ball game for the Waves. That one bounces into the dirt. Moving over to second base is Quinion. So not a very good outing here so far for Stephen Dennis, as he has gone 1 2/3 innings, has given up 5 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned runs, 2 base on balls, as he has faced 14 batters. That one missing for ball 2. And Dennis's pitch. Ball 3 now, the count. Now, you can't blame it all on Dennis, though, because there has been 2 errors on the Waves. And that's always tough when you give good teams 4 outs in an inning. Here's the pitch. That one missing. Or call strike. Okay. Hancock was about third of the way down to first base when the umpire called strike. So he heads back to the batter's box, and the count now is 3 balls, 1 strike. And Stephen Dennis trying to get out of this inning as there is 2 down, runners at second and third. Ball hit into center field. 2 runs will score as Grant comes around and Quinion comes home. And on that throw to home, Hancock ends up at second base. So a base hit there by Hancock and 2 RBIs as 2 more runs scores. And now takes the score to 7-1 in favor of the Seattle Studs. As we are only in the bottom half of the second inning. That will bring up the left fielder number 3, Henry Cheney. I found out the other day he is the grandson of the founder of the Cheney Seattle Tacoma Studs. It might be the other way around. I'll have to find out. I've lost my notes here on it. I was thinking it was Tacoma first. Anyway, count goes to no balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom half of the second inning. So he is the grandson of Ben Cheney, who founded the team in this second here, 54, I believe. Trying to get back on my thoughts here. My mental notes, anyway. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Henry Cheney. If you could see my office right now where I'm PA or doing the play-by-play tonight, you would understand. I was doing the radio here this evening, something that I normally don't do, and I have got paper scattered all over. The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Henry Cheney. Runners at second base. That one missing high for ball 2. Once again, the score is 7-1 in favor of the Seattle Studs here in the bottom half of the second inning. For Seattle, they've scored 7 runs on 6 hits, no errors. And for San Diego, they've scored 1 run on 3 hits and 2 errors. Here, Dennis has pitched that one, also fouled off. So the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We still have a very decent crowd here. Of course, the loudest noise coming from the Circle of Love. Those of you from Seattle know exactly what I'm talking about. And those of you in Wichita should know because they've been around for a long time. Swing and a miss there, and that is out number 3. At the end of 2 innings of plays, the Studs 7 and the Waves 1. And you're listening to NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I see a new day. To continue my journey, riding towards my goal, to create the life I've always wanted. I do what it takes, and now I ride to my dream job. What do you see?
And we welcome you back here to X Stadium. This is Frank Martinez. Bring you the action here tonight as we go to the top half of the third inning. For San Diego, leading off will be the left fielder, number 5, Derek Lagaza. Lagaza had a grounded out to the third baseman in the first inning. There's a swing and a miss there by Lagaza. I have him down as a sacrifice, so I'll check that out. That one missing for ball 2, so 2-1 now the count to Derek Lagaza, the left fielder for the San Diego Waves. That one hit into center field, right center fielder moving to his left. That's Green making the catch for out number 1. So an F8 in the books. And that will bring up the first baseman, number 22, Drew Thomas. That missing for ball 1 to Thomas. As we are in the top half of the third inning, swing and a miss there by Thomas. That will even up the count now at 1 ball, 1 strike. Thomas got a RBI as he had a sacrifice as he flew out to left field. And Tiger scored from third base as he tagged up. That was a check swing there, and they checked with the first base umpire and says no, he didn't go, so it is 3-2 now, full count. That one missing inside, so Thomas will be on at first base with a base on balls. And that'll bring up the catcher, number 24, Jake Rico. Not sure whether they've posted what time everybody plays tomorrow yet or not. We'll check it out here. I'm sorry, not tomorrow. I was talking about Wednesday. We already know who plays tomorrow. As Pool B is in action tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. The first game on Tuesday will be the Lone Star Baseball Club versus the Liberal Kansas BJs. Lone Star This is Pool D, that is. Lone Star is already 2-0. That is fouled off. Derby Twins are 1-1 and a -1 differential. Liberal is 0-2 and a -4 differential. And then the San Diego, California Stars are 1-1 with +2. So we have a second out there to Rico. That will bring up the center fielder, number 7, Jimmy McClanahan. Thomas is still at first base with 2 down now here in the top half of the third inning. So basically tomorrow, we already know that clinching a bye in the bracket is the Lone Star Baseball Club from Texas. Ball hit at third baseman, goes to second base for the third out. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
Good evening, baseball fans. KSN Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman here from the Storm Track 3 Weather Center. It is going to be a steamy evening. The humidity levels are up, but it should stay mostly dry. 88 degrees will be our temperature, but then as the sun sets, overnight temperatures will fall into the 70s. It's going to be a steamy one. While there is a slim chance for a pop-up shower or storm, most of us should stay dry, and the same goes for tomorrow. While there is a 10% rain risk, that's not going to be until later in the day, so expect the heat and humidity to be the big stories going forward, with tomorrow's high right around 95. Enjoy the rest of the evening here at the ballpark and have a safe ride home.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Leading off for the Seattle Studs will be the catcher, number 7, Brady Hinkle. As he flew out to the shortstop to make the third out in the first inning. In that big inning for the Studs, as they scored 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. First pitch is called strike 1. Swing and a miss there by Hinkle. As Stephen Dennis starts his third inning of work for the Waves. Ball hit to the left side. Kabatabat makes the play, goes to Thomas for out number 1. So a 6-3 put out for the first out. That will bring up the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green. Green reached on an error to the second baseman in the second inning, correction. Stole base. There's a hard hit ball to the third baseman. Diving stop there by Morales. Goes to first for out number 2. What a defensive play there by Morales. As that ball was hit right at the bag, Morales dove for it, got up, and threw across to first base for out number 2. So a 5-3 put out. That's a key construction, key play of the game there. That's going to bring up the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. Strash has scored 2 runs here in the ball game. He's reached on a base on balls and a base hit in the second inning. So already up for the third time here in just 3 innings. Strash is 1 for 1. 2 runs scored and 1 base on balls as he's batting .444 here in the World Series. Count will now go to 3 balls, 1 strike now to Strash as we have 2 down. As Morales made a great stop at third base and was able to get Green before he hit the bag. That one's, so now Strash will be on at first base. On a base on ball, so that will bring up Gavin Grant. And here's Dennis' pitch taken off was Strash, and safely no throw down with a stolen base now. I think the Seattle Studs are wanting to make a point here tonight. They did lose the first game. That ball lifted into right field. Right fielder Heiser making a catch for out number 3. At the end of 3 innings of play, it is 7-1 in favor of the Studs. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
No one should live a life burdened with type 1 diabetes. And the day is coming when nobody will, because we're here to cure it. And we're working to improve the lives of those affected by this relentless disease today by finding new therapies and advancing them to market, by advocating for greater access and better choices, by deepening our understanding of the disease. At JDRF, we're fighting T1D. We're making life better for those who live with it, while creating a world without it.
And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the 4th inning. The score of the Seattle Studs 7 and the San Diego Waves 1. We're going to have a new pitcher for Seattle. It will be number 30, Michael Wamick. Right-handed thrower from Bellevue, Washington. It's a 6'5", 215-pounders. University of Puget Sound, where he's a senior. Kabatabat now batting here in the top half of the 4th inning to start things off. I'll give you the numbers on Kennedy, or Rowan Kennedy, that is, as he went 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 base on balls, 2 strikeouts as he faced 14 batters. First pitch was ball 1 to Kabatabat. Swing and a miss there by Kabatabat. So the count will even up now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Top half of the 4th, 7-1 in favor of the Seattle Studs. That one at 90 miles an hour by Wamick. Fouled off by Kabatabat. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. And here's Wamick's pitch. Ball missing high for ball 3, so that will take the count to full now. That was at 83 miles an hour. Not quite the 90 mile an hour he had just a second ago. And here's the pitch. That one missing high. That one at 89 miles an hour, missing high for ball 4. So Kabatabat will be on at first base on a walk. And that will bring up the second baseman, number 9, Mason Stites. Stites is 0 for 1 here in the ballgame. He attempts to lay a bunt down, but gets under it, and he fouls that off. So no balls, one strike now. With the runner at first base, no outs here in the top half of the fourth. That one called strike two. Hits the outside corner, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball by Womack. Or I'm going to say Whammock. Steps off and he's ready to go now. And here's the pitch. That one ball hits to the third baseman. Wolf goes to the second baseman Strash for first out and then over to first, but it gets away from the first baseman, but no advancement by Stites. So a 5-4 putout for out number one. Fielder's choice. And that will bring up the third baseman, number 8, Mitch Morales. Morales had a double his last time up, but was left stranded at second base as the Waves left runners at second and third in that inning. Strike right on the inside corner, 90 miles an hour by Whammock. And here's the pitch. That one missing high for ball one. Well, so far we've seen that fastball right at 90 miles an hour, so that must be where he's got her plugged in at. Haven't seen one faster than that yet. Their ball hits the right-hand side. That may fall in for a base hit. It does. Base hit by Morales as Morales records his second hit of the ball game. Stopping at second base is Stites, and Morales on at first base. That will bring up the designated hitter, number 25, Kiefer Morgan. Morales was 2 for 8 coming into the ball game. He's now 2 for 2 here in this game. So now we have runners at first and second with one down here in the top half of the fourth inning. The ball hit to the right-hand side. Quinion goes to the shortstop covering second and then tries to go to first base with the pitcher covering, and that goes into the dugout. So a run will score. Styles come in from third base. Morales is out at second, and Morgan will end up at second base. Reached on a fielder's choice and then an error, I believe. Yep, fielder's choice and error 6. But we have 2 down now. That one gets away from the catcher, so moving over to third base will be Morgan. The score now 7-2 in favor of the Seattle Studs, as the Wave have scored 1 run here in the top half of the fourth inning. That was a ball as that one got away from the catcher. Morgan went to third. Ball was fouled off by Tiger. He is 1 for 2 here in the ball game. A hard hit ball by Tiger is in for a base hit, and another run scores, and that now makes the score 7-3. So base hit by Tiger and an RBI. That will bring up the left fielder, number 5, Derek Lagaza. So Whammock having a tough outing here in the fourth inning. He's only gone 2/3 of an inning, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs. There's another base hit there by Lagaza into left field. Stopping at second base is Tiger. And then that will bring up the first baseman, number 22, Drew Thomas. Ball hits the right-hand side. It is going to be foul up in the bleachers area. 2 runs have scored here in the top half of the fourth to make the score 7-3 now in favor of the Studs. There is runners at first and second with 2 down. Womack, and that ball gets away from the catcher, so runners will advance. Tiger will be on at third base. Lagaza now at second. As Hinkle was not able to make that stop. Now two runners are in scoring position for Thomas. That went in. The count is 2 balls, 1 strike now to Drew Thomas. Ball hit to the third baseman. Wolf going to go to first, but not going to be in time as another run scores from third base as Tiger. Lagaza moves to third base on the play. And we have a base hit there by Drew Thomas as he hustled down the line there and was able to run it out. So the score now 7-4 as the San Diego Wave has scored 3 runs here in the top half of the fourth inning. And here comes pitching coach for San Diego, for the Seattle Studs. You can tell it's getting late. Had a base hit and an RBI on that last play by Thomas. Now up for San Diego Wave will be the catcher, number 24, Jake Rico. So Rico on with runners at first and third and 2 down. And the score now 7-4. That ball hit to the shortstop. Shortstop has to come in. Going to make a play at first base for the third out. At the end of 3.5 innings of play, it is the Studs 7 and the Waves 4. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I'll tell you what I don't see. I don't see a dropout. I don't see laid off. I don't see hopeless. I see our future, bright and prosperous. What do you see?
And we welcome you back to Egg Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. The score is the Seattle Studs 7 and the San Diego, California Waves 4. We got a new pitcher now for San Diego. Looks like it's number 15, Caleb Thomason from Peoria, Arizona. 5'10", 180-pounder from Glendale Community College, Arizona. He is a freshman. Leading off the bottom half of the fourth inning for the Seattle Studs will be the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. First pitch is ball one now to Wolf. That one calls strike. Count will now go to 2 balls and 1 strike. I'm going to put you on hold for just a second. I got to try to find out something here. It was a pop-up to the right side. So we have 1 down now. And now batting is the right fielder, number 34, Jack Polly. First pitch from Thomason is a ball to Polly. So the count is 1 ball, no strikes. And here's the pitch. That one missing inside. That was at 79 miles an hour. And the count goes to 2 balls, no strikes. And that one hit to the second baseman, not going to be able to get to it. And we'll see what the official score calls on that one. Now batting is the first baseman, number 24, Mason Quinion. Official score has flashcards, and he lifted it up, but never showed it this way, so still not sure. And Point Street not working. Ball hits to the right-hand side. And second baseman catches it up in the air, goes to first for the double play. At the end of 4 innings of play, it is the Studs 7 and the Waves 4. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back as we go to the 5th inning. Leading off for the Waves will be the center fielder, number 7, Jimmy McClanahan. There's a hard hit ball to the shortstop. Making the catch was Gavin Grant on that line drive for out number 1. Bring up the shortstop, number 11, Jai Kabatabat. I do want to apologize to the San Diego Waves, as I just found out that the pitcher for the Waves is Michael Warnick instead of Wamick. The R slides right into the N that made it look like an M. But we're going to go by what they say, and that is Warnick. So we apologize to him and his family. We'll get it right. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. That ball hit to the right-hand side past the second baseman. Goes into right field for a base hit. And Kabatabat records his first hit of the ball game. That'll bring up the second baseman, number 9, Mason Stice. Swing and a miss there. The count goes to 1 ball. Should be no balls, 1 strike. There we go. And here's the pitch. That one in there for strike 2. So 0-2 now the count. As we are in the top half of the 5th inning. There is 1 out with a runner at first base. Swing and a miss there by Stice, so he goes down swinging for the second out. And that will bring up the third baseman, number 8, Mitch Morales. The Kabatabat reached on a base hit. He's at first base with 2 down. The score 7-4. Boy, it must be up in the air because there's a ball hit to the right-hand side. That's going to float in to right field for a base hit, going over to third base is Kabatabat. And Morales is in with his 3rd hit of the ball game as he has a double and 2 singles. That will bring up the designated hitter, number 25, Kiefer Morgan. There goes the runner, Morales to second base, and Kabatabat still at third base. As now we have runners at second and third with 2 down here in the top half of the 5th inning. All right, score is 7-4, and Count is 2 balls, 1 strike now to Morgan, as Kabatabat is at third base and Morales at second. We have 2 down here in the top half of the 5th inning. That ball hit into right center field. The center fielder, Green, coming up, making the catch for out number 3. 7-4 is the score at the end of 4.5. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
Come from the sea, come to you. I heard the laughing. Come from the sea, come to you. I'm someone like you. Na 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 na. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. And I'm going to Wichita.
Learn more at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning between the Seattle Washington Studs and the San Diego California Waves. The score is 7-4 in favor of Seattle. Leading off for the Studs will be designated hitter number 23, Brendan Hancock. As Caleb Thomason starts his 2nd inning of work. That one fouled off by Hancock, so the count goes to no balls, 2 strikes. That one missing for ball 1. So the count now 1 ball, 2 strikes. If you're just now joining us, San Diego scored first in the top half of the 1st inning. They scored 1 run. The Seattle Studs answered them back with 3 runs in the bottom half of the 1st. And it stayed like that till the 2nd inning. Swing and a miss there by Hancock as he goes down swinging for out number 1. That will bring up the left fielder, number 3, Henry Cheney. Cheney is 0 for 1 here in the ball game. So reached on a base on balls in the 1st inning and struck out in the 2nd. Anyway, the Studs scored 4 runs, make it 7-1. And it stayed like that till the 4th inning when San Diego scored 3 runs to make it 7-4. That's where we stand. The line reads for San Diego, 4 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. And for Seattle, they have 7 runs on 7 hits and no errors. That ball hit down the line along the first base side, and it is foul. The count stays at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, that one fouled off again to the right-hand side. For action tomorrow at 1 o'clock, it will be the Lone Star Baseball Club from Texas versus the Liberal Kansas BJs. That one low for ball 2, so that would even up the count at 2-2. And then Tuesday at 3:30, it will be the Game Day Saints from Colorado versus the Santa Barbara, California Forsters. Our feature game tomorrow, that ball lifted into center field. Center fielder McClanahan makes the catch for out number 2. The feature game for tomorrow will be the Hayesville, Kansas Aviators versus the Great Bend, Kansas Batcats. And then our 9:30 game on Tuesday will be the Derby Kansas Twins versus the San Diego California Stars. That was fouled off there by Hinkle, catcher for the Seattle Studs, as we have 2 down here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And that will be the last day of pool play, where we'll get into the single elimination bracket. Already getting buys in Pool A was the Cheney Diamond Dogs, as they went 3-0. Also getting a bye in Pool C is the Fairbanks Alaska Gold Panthers, as they were 3-0 in that pool play. That one missing for ball 3, so 3-1 now the count to Brady Hinkle. And then also making the, getting a bye is in Pool D is the Lone Star Baseball Club. Going to first base is Hinkle on ball 4. And that will bring up the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green, with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Score 7-4 in favor of the Studs. So tomorrow's action will tell who gets the bye in Pool B. Right now, in Pool B, Game Day Saints from Colorado are 1-1. They are -2 in differential. Great Bend Batcats 1-1. They are +5 in differential. The Hayesville, Kansas Aviator are 0-2, and they're -9 in differential. And the Santa Barbara, California Foresters are 2-0, and they are +6 in differential. Once again, they will be playing Game Day Saints from Colorado at 3:30. So if Colorado beats them there, Colorado Saints may get the number 1 seed and have a bye. But if Santa Barbara Foresters win, then that means they will get the bye and not have to play on Wednesday till Thursday's action on the 8th. So a lot's riding on tomorrow's action. So we hope you do join us. Once again, the count now is 1 ball, 2 strikes now to R.J. Green, as there is a runner at first base with 2 down. Ball lifted on the left side. Shortstop Kabatabat is called off by Lagaza, makes the catch for out number 3. So at the end of 5, it is 7-4 in favor of the Studs. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back to the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer, as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. We're going to have a new pitcher now for the Seattle Studs. It will be number 20, Mac Larson. Larson now on the mound for the Studs. Larson is a right-handed thrower from Tacoma, Washington. He's a 6-foot, 190-pounder from Lyon College, where he's a junior. So I'll give you the final numbers for Warnick. He went 2 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 base on ball, and 1 strikeout, as he faced 13 batters. And the first batter that Larson faces is the leadoff hitter, right fielder number 4, Griffin Teicher. That's where you are in the top half of the 6th inning. And now Rico calls timeout. Correction, catcher Hinkle calls timeout to go talk to his pitcher Larson. We're having problems with point streak. That's why I've kind of had to get away from the telecast for a time or two. And it's not keeping up. And us PA announcers or play-by-play announcers depend on it heavily. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. And also we depend on the scoreboard, and that hasn't been correct tonight for some reason. The count goes 2 balls, 1 strike to Teicher, who is 2 for 3 here tonight. Two and 1 to count now. And Larson's pitch hit into left field. That's going to be in for a base hit. That was an 84-mile-an-hour fastball by Larson. And Teicher records his 3rd hit of the ball game. 2 singles and a double. That will bring up the left fielder, number 5, Derek Lagaza. So the San Diego, California Waves are fighting strong here in this ball game to get back in it. They are down 7-4 here in the top half of the 6th inning. They do have a runner on base now with no outs. And it's no balls, 2 strikes now to Lagaza. Teicher on at first base as he has reached on a base hit. And here's Larson's pitch. That one fouled off by Lagaza. Correction. That one hits a window. Sounded like it might have hit it pretty well here. We're caught our attention. 0-2 the count. Fouled off by Lagaza. Once again, he's hanging tough up there at the plate. Teicher at first. 7-4 is the score in favor of the Seattle Studs. That one missing for ball. In there safely is Teicher. So a stolen base there by Griffin Teicher. That will even up the count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. So that misses high. Mark Larson now is in relief for the Seattle Studs. That one bounced into the ground. That may be trouble unless the third baseman allows it to go foul, which he does. Smart play there by the third baseman, Wolf, as that bounced into the ground and was rolling along the line, and you could tell that it was going to be moving in foul territory if you let it go, because Lagaza was down already at first base. So Tiger goes back to second base. The count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. He lifts that into short center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Stopping at third base is Tiger. And on with a base hit is Lagaza at first base as he records his second hit of the ball game. And that will bring up the first baseman, number 22, Drew Thomas. Thomas got a base hit this last time in the 4th inning, as he also had an RBI. So now we have runners at first and third with no out here in the top half of the 6th inning. That ball hit into the ground and goes foul by Drew Thomas. The San Diego Waves threatening here in the top half of the 6th inning as they are down 7-4. Now San Diego has 4 runs. There goes Lagaza to second base, and the ball was thrown by Larson, and it gets away from the shortstop. So a run will score. Tiger will come in to score from third base. Lagaza ends up at third base. Well, actually, they're making him go back to second here. That was thrown by the pitcher, so he will head back to second base. And Lagaza standing at second now, as 1 run has scored. A score now. Ball hit to the third baseman. He looks Lagaza back and fires across. For out number 1. That was Drew Thomas. 5-3 put out. So that will bring up the catcher number 24, Jake Rico. 1 run has scored now here in the top half of the 6th inning. 7-5 now in favor of the Studs over the Waves. But the Waves have come back and scored 3 runs in the 4th, and now 1 run here in the 6th. Pitch to Rico is called strike, so that will even up the count now at 1 ball, 1 strike. Lagaza still standing at second base. And here's the pitch. Curveball there. 74 mile an hour missing. That one high for ball 3. 3-1 now the count. Mac Larson pitching for the Studs. Check swing there by, they are going to call a strike as they check with the first base umpire. So the count will go full now at 3-2. And here's Larson's pitch. Swing and a miss there by Jake Rico as he goes down swinging for out number 2. That is a big out here in this time of the ball game. Looks like we may be having a pinch hitter will be number 29. Now coming in to pinch hit for the Waves. And that is Dylan Mackin. Will now be pinch hitting for Jimmy McClenahan. So 29 for 7 here in the top half of the 6th inning. So Mackin now up there. Count is no balls and 2 strikes as that one goes across the letters for the second strike. They don't keep the pitch count up as long as I'd like them to. Every time I look up, it's gone. Here's the pitch. That one getting away from the catcher, not. It was outside. That one at 79 miles an hour, and that time they kept it up. They must have heard me. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dylan Mackin. Here in the top half of the 7th. Ball hit to the right-hand side. Strash goes to his left, goes across and gets the out for out number 3. So at the end of 5 1/2, it is 7-5 in favor of the Studs, and you're listening to NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
Neck pain, back pain, all kinds of sprains. If your knee replacement aches when it starts to rain, at Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. Concussions, arthritis, carpal tunnel, tooth, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's, we've got the treatment for you. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. One-on-one sessions with a personal touch. Ask our thousands of patients why they love us so much. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The score 7-5 in favor of the Seattle Washington Studs over the San Diego California Waves. Leading off for the Studs will be the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. And in his second inning of work is Caleb Thomason for the San Diego Wave. First pitch called strike 1. Actually, I guess that's the second pitch. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. That went in for strike 2. That was at 73 miles an hour. So 1-2 now the count to Kyle Strash. Here's the pitch. That one, 86 mile an hour fastball missing low. So that will even up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here's Thomason's pitch. That one lifted into left field. Left fielder Cheney is having, what a great catcher by Cheney as he had to move deep into left center field and made a diving catch. So Henry Cheney putting on a defensive performance out there in left field with that catch. That will bring up the shortstop number 5, Gavin Grant. As there is now 1 down here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So the count is, there's a strike there to Gavin Grant. Tournament director Kevin Jinks just walked in. It looks like he's had a great night here tonight. We had a decent crowd. The first two games were very pretty, but we had some good games here the last two games, as it is 7-5 in favor of the Seattle Studs. Count now goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. That one just missing outside. That was an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. And so the count will go full now at 3-2. As we have one down, as Henry Cheney made a great catch out in left field. There's a swinging strike 3 for out number 2. So Gavin Grant goes down for the second out. That will bring up the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. Wolf flew out to the second baseman the last time at the plate. That was in the top half of the fourth inning as he made the first out. So we have 2 down here in the bottom half of the sixth. And there's the first pitch missing outside. That was a breaking ball at 72 miles an hour by Thomason. So the count is 1 ball, no strikes. Fastball at 86 miles an hour in there for a strike. That would take the count to 1-1. Once again, don't forget about tomorrow's action at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. We have the Lone Star Baseball Club from Texas versus the Liberal Kansas BJs. And then Tuesday at 3:30, Game Day Saints from Colorado will be facing the Santa Barbara, California Forsters. The 7 o'clock feature game on tomorrow will be the Hayesville, Kansas Aviators versus the Great Bend, Kansas Batcats. And then our 9:30 game, or late game, will be the Derby, Kansas Twins versus the San Diego, California Stars. So 4 good games tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock. There's a walk to Colin Wolf, so he'll be on at first base. And that will bring up the right fielder, number 34, Jack Pauly. There is 2 down here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. 7-5 is the score in favor of the Studs. Ball hit hard to the right-hand side and is in foul territory. So the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Center fielder playing pretty deep here against Jack Pauly, but everybody else is squared out. That ball, hard hit ball into center field, and Pauly records his first hit of the ball game. And moving over to second base is Colin Wolf. So Wolf is at second base, Pauly at first. As the Seattle Studs now are trying to do something here with 2 down here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. And now coming up the bat will be the first baseman, number 24, Mason Quinion. Quinion reached on a base hit in the first inning, an error in the second where he scored a run, and then flew out to the second baseman in the fourth inning. So we have Wolf at second and Pauly at first. Pitch hitting the outside corner, a fastball at 85 miles an hour from Caleb Thomason. As he's come in and done a really good job here for the Wades. He's gone 2 2/3 innings, has given up 2 hits, has 2 base on balls and 2 strikeouts, as that one's hit down the right field side and goes foul. And he has faced 11 batters so far here in 2 2/3 innings. So Mason Quinion at the plate. The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one missing outside, so that will even up the count now at 2-2. And here's the pitch. That one hit to the right-hand side. That may be trouble. It is as it falls in. 1 run will score as Wolf comes around third base. Going to third base is Pauly, and he's in safely at third base. So Quinion gets a base hit and 1 RBI. That is his second hit of the ball game and second RBI also of the ball game. It's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 23, Brennan Hancock. And here comes Coach for the Waves. We may have a change here, as the score now goes 8-5 in favor of the Seattle Studs. They're talking it out at the mound, trying to decide what their next move is going to be. Like I say, Pauly is at third base now. Quinion on at first. That is the first run scored by the Seattle Studs since they scored 4 runs in the second inning. Now batting will be designated hitter number 23, Brennan Hancock. That's a hard hit ball to the first baseman. Makes the play for out number 3. So at the end of 6 innings of play, it is the Studs 8 and the Waves 5. You're listening to NBC World Series, a live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
The Kansas Humane Society is a community resource for pets and people, dedicated to enhancing the welfare of all companion animals. We offer an array of services that promote the human and animal bond, including pet adoption, dog training, behavior consultation, pet supplies, outreach, spay and neuter, end-of-life services, field trips, and community outreach.
And we welcome you back to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy, as we go to the top half of the 7th inning. The score 8-5 in favor of the Seattle Studs. And we got a new pitcher now coming in for the Studs. It will be the number 14, Jacob Bradley. Bradley is a right-handed thrower. He's from Lake Stevens, Washington. He's a 6'3", 180 pounders, and he is a sophomore out of Everett Community College. Once again, the score 8-5 in favor of Seattle Studs. The first batter that he'll be facing will be the shortstop, number 11, Kabatabat, Jai Kabatabat. Will be the first batter as we are in the top half of the 7th inning. And we're ready to go here in the top half of the 7th. First pitch by Bradley is way outside for ball 1. Let me give you the final numbers here for Larson. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, had 1 strikeout as he faced 5 batters. Two-0 now the count to Kabatabat. That one in there for strike one, so the count will go to 2-1. Not sure Kabatabat agreed with that one as he steps out. But it looked like it was right across the letters. Here's the pitch. That is an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. Missing for ball 3. So 3-1 now the count. Kabatabat, that one outside for ball 4. So Kabatabat will be on with the base on balls. And that is his third time on the base path here in the ball game. So now batting the second baseman, number 9, Mason Stites. There's a runner at first base with no out, and Stites squares around the bunt, but pulls it back, and it is ball 1. Once again, the Waves need base runners as they are down 8-5 here in the top half of the 7th inning. That one missing high for ball 2. So Bradley, little control issues here as he just gets started. As he walked the first guy and is already down 2 balls to no strikes. Here's Bradley's pitch. That one in there for strike 1 at 85 miles an hour fastball. So he hits the outer edge of home plate. Once again, we hope you have all enjoyed the broadcast here tonight. That one fouled off by Stites. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's Bradley's pitch. That one missing way outside. Great job there by Hinkle as he had to put his foot out right to the right-hand side and has moved his body over to stay in front of it. No damage done as Kabatabat has to stay at first base. So the count full now at 3-2. That one way outside. Hit in front of the batter's box on the left-handed batter. And so Kabatabat will move to second base. Stites will be on at first base with a walk, and that's the second walk given up by Bradley. Now we'll bring up the third baseman, number 8, Mitch Morales. And here comes pitching coach or coach for San Diego. Correction for the Studs. You ever had those nights when you're thinking something and you say something else? Well, that's the kind of night I've had here tonight. I apologize about it, but I'm trying my best. Just sometimes I outsmart myself and just don't say the things that I'm intending to say. All right, he's going to stay with Bradley. So once again, runners at first and second. And my wife can vouch for this. Those kind of things upset me because she says I'm such a perfectionist. And I try to be anyway. Runners at first and second. The corners will be in now. Also the second baseman in a little bit as he'll have to cover first base. And up to the plate is Mitch Morales. Calls strike 1 against Morales. Morales looks back at home plate umpire and ask him exactly where that was. Morales looks down the third base coach, gets a signal. And coming in more at first base is Quinion. That one missing way outside for ball 1. So that will take the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Kabatabat at second base. Oz at first as we have runners at first and second with no outs. here in the top half of the seventh inning. 8-5 is the score in favor of the Studs. Ball hit into shortstop. That may be in for a base hit as the infield was in, and everybody's going to be safe. Kabatabat will be on at first. Dies at second, and Morales reaches on with a base hit as he records his fourth hit of the ball game. He has a double and 3 singles his last 3 times up at the plate. That will bring up the designated hitter, number 25, for Morgan. That one missing outside for ball 1. There is some action out in the bullpen for Seattle. Once again, both these two teams have already qualified for the championship week single elimination bracket. They're just trying to see whether they're number 2 or number 3, because the Cheney Kansas Diamond Dogs have already clinched the number 1 spot, and they will get a day off on Wednesday. Not played till Thursday. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. That one missing inside for ball 2. Morgan up there now with the bases loaded. And no out for the San Diego, California Waves. And here's the pitch. A hard hit ball along the third base side. It is foul. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes to Morgan. And Jacob Bradley trying to get out of the inning here as he's dug himself a hole as he's got the bases full. That one missing outside for ball 3. So the count will be full now at 3-2. And here's Bradley's pitch. And Morgan just reaches out to the second baseman. Second baseman goes to the shortstop, Grant, covering for the forced out. And he's safe at first base, so another run will score as Kabatabat comes in to score from third base. Stiles goes to second, and Morales out at second base on a 4-6 put out. And Morgan's on with a fielder's choice. And here comes Coach. That's going to be it for Jacob Bradley. Looks like coming in will be number 19. For the Seattle Studs. Number 19 is Anthony Brady. He's from Idaho Falls, Indiana. 6 foot, 205 pounder from Northern Colorado University, where he's a graduate. So we're going to put him down in the books, and we're going to take a small break. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back to the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Once again, I said the new pitcher for Seattle Studs is number 19. That's Anthony Brady. And we're going to have a pinch runner at first base for the Wave. It's number 13 coming in, Kyle Palm. So Palm will be on at first base now as a pinch runner. That brings up the right fielder number 4, Griffin Teicher. Call strike one. So Brady now on in relief. And let me give you Bradley's final numbers. He was in there for 1/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 base on balls, and had faced 4 batters. That one fouled off by Teicher. There is some action still in the Seattle Studs bullpen. As we have runners at first and third with 1 down here in the top half of the 7th. 8-6 is now the score in favor of the Seattle Studs. The Studs basically scored 7 runs in the first 2 innings and then 1 in the 6th. And San Diego scored 1 in the first, 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th, and now 1 in the 7th. To make it 8-6. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Teicher, who is 3 for 4 here tonight. And there goes Palm to second base. And the count goes to 2-2. So runners now at second and third with 1 out. There's a hard hit ball right down the line. That's going to be in for extra bases. 1 run will score. Zastal scores from third base, and coming around to score from second is Kyle Palm. And now standing at second base is Griffin Teicher, as he gets a double and 2 RBIs. As the score, if they have scored 3 runs here now in the top half of the 7th inning, the score is going to be all tied up at 8 apiece. And Teicher now has 4 hits here in the ball game, 2 singles and 2 doubles. Up there to bat now is left fielder number 5, Derek Lagaza, with a runner at second base and 1 down. So the go-ahead run is now at second base for the San Diego Wave. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike now to Lagaza. And here's Brady's pitch. That is fouled off by Lagaza. That will take the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. That last pitch is 92 miles an hour by Brady. I love it when they leave that speed clock up. That one, a breaking ball, 79 miles an hour, hit to the shortstop. Grant goes to first. Went in for out number 2. So a 6-3 put out for the second out. And that will bring up the first baseman, number 22, Drew Thomas. Had to take a double look at that because for some reason that looked like number 99 from up here. But it is number 22, Thomas. Hard hit ball. That's over the shortstop's head. That's going to rounding second base, or third base, I should say, is Tizer, and he will score the go-ahead run for the San Diego Waves. And a base hit there by Drew Thomas and an RBI. The score now 9-8 in favor of the San Diego Waves, that they have scored 4 runs here in the top half of the 7th inning. Now batting will be the catcher, number 24, Jake Rico. That one hit to the shortstop. Grant has to go to first base, and in safely is Jake Rico as he hustled down the line and was able to beat that out. That took kind of a high hop, and Grant had to wait on it, and after he threw the ball, Rico was in safely. So Rico records a base hit. So now Thomas moves to second base. And that brings up number 29, Dylan Mackin, as he pinch hit for McClanahan. That ball hit to the third baseman. Wolf goes to first for out number 3. At the end of 6.5, it is the Waves 9 and the Studs 8. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
Man, this is serious business. You gotta have an appetite for this kind of thing. You gotta have a hunger to succeed.
Side effects may include hilarity, laughter, smiles, childlike behavior, lots of good feelings, and making of a lifelong friend.
Mentoring. It's easier than you think and serious fun. Change the game.
And we welcome you back here to X Stadium as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The score now 9-8 in favor of the San Diego Waves. And we're going to have a new pitcher for the San Diego Waves. I believe it's number 36, Ben Morales, a right-hander thrower from Murrieta, California. He's a 6'1", 200-pounder. Senior from St. Edwards. First batter he'll be facing will be the left fielder, number 3, Henry Cheney. First pitch is called strike 1. No balls and 2 strikes now to Cheney. So we are in the bottom half of the 7th inning. This one missing high for ball one at 90 miles an hour. By Ben Morales. Relief pitcher. Swing and a miss there by Cheney as he goes down swinging for out number one. That'll bring up the catcher number 7, Brady Hinkle. I'll give you the numbers now for, it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. We'll see what number he is here. He is number 26 now batting for the Seattle Studs. And that is Brock Gallardi, as he caught last night's, or not last night, the night before's ball game. So we replacing Hinkle. Hard hit ball to the shortstop. It was a hit on the ground actually, and it bounced up, so it's going to be a base hit there by Gallardi. That will bring up the center fielder, number 16, R.J. Green. So runner at first base with one down, as we are in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 9-8 in favor of the San Diego Wave. And here's the pitch. That one missing for ball one. That one hit to the third base side. Great job there by the third baseman as he gets the force out. That was Morales for out number 2. So Green will be on with a fielder's choice and a 5-4 put out for the second out as they get the lead runner. That will bring up the second baseman number 4, Kyle Strash. Count is 1 ball, no strikes now to Strash. As R.J. Green is on at first base with 2 down. Just a great play there by Mitch Morales as he dove to his right, came up and threw out Gallardi at second base for the force out. 2 balls, no strikes now. And there goes Green to second base as the ball gets away from the catcher, but he will stop at second base as now the tying run is at second base with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. As the score is 9-8 in favor of the Waves and ahead of the Studs. 3 balls, no strikes, though, to Strash. And they're going to intentionally walk him to get a forced play at any base now. That will bring up the shortstop, number 5, Gavin Grant. So Gavin Grant now up with runners at first and second and 2 down. First pitch is called strike 1, an 89 mile per hour fastball. Ball hit out into center field. McClanahan backing up, making the catch for out number 3. So at the end of 7, it is the Waves 9 and the Studs 8. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
I'm Terry Bradshaw. Like many of you, I took the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge back in 2014. My man Pat Quinn here, well, he's one of the founders.
Thanks to all of you who took the challenge.
ALS is a nasty disease with no cure. It robs a person of their ability to walk, talk, and breathe. Since the Ice Bucket Challenge, we've discovered new ALS genes and potential treatments. If we can cure ALS, we can cure anything. Please join me and Pat in the fight against ALS.
And we welcome you back to the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. As we go to the top half of the 8th inning, the score is the San Diego, California Waves 9 and the Seattle Washington Studs 8. First pitch goes to the third baseman for out number 1. Up there batting was Kabatabat. So a 5-3 put out for the first out. Now batting the second baseman, number 9, Mason Stites. That one hit the inside corner at 89-mile-an-hour fastball. So the count is no balls, 1 strike. Brady has really been throwing hard here since he's come in. That one, a breaking ball at 78 miles an hour, gets eyes to pop it up to the shortstop. And making the catch is Gavin Grant. So there's 2 down here in the top half of the 8th inning. And that will bring up the third baseman, number 8, Mitch Morales. Now the third base coach calls timeout as he wants to talk to Morales. With nobody on base, kind of curious to see what he might have asked him to do here. That first pitch calls strike 1. Count is no balls, 1 strike, 2 out here in the top half of the 8. 9-8 in favor of the Waves. That one, breaking ball, right, called strike 2 for on the inside corner. And Morales didn't like that call, but it was pretty close from my angle anyway. Another breaking ball, hard hit ball past the third baseman, Wolf, as he dove for it, but was not able to get to it, and it goes out into left field. So a base hit there by Morales, as Morales records his 4th hit of the ball game. Has a double and correction, that is the 5th hit of the ball game. I was going to say 4 straight singles here for Morales after he started off with a double. So 5 for 5 here tonight. That will bring up the designated hitter, number 13, Kyle Palm. And there goes Morales to second base to throw down, but not going to be in time, as Morales had a really good lead there. And Morales is in safely. So he is at second base now with 2 down. Trying to get an insurance run here if Palm can get a base hit with Morales' speed. Penalty, ball 1. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes as the 20-second clock goes off. And I tell you what, I've been sitting in that PA room when that goes off. It's not any fun, especially when you're not expecting it. Ball hit to the second baseman. Second baseman Strash goes to his right, goes across for out number 3. So the score is 9-8 in favor of the Waves. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back. And a little Sweet Caroline here in the 8th inning as a tradition here at the NBC World Series. And the Circle of Love has their microphones out. So leading off the bottom half of the 8th inning for San Diego will be the third baseman, number 28, Colin Wolf. If you've ever been to the NBC World Series at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, of course, Lawrence Dumont Stadium now no longer there. They are building a new stadium. They were scheduled to play there next year, at least for 1 week anyway. As the first week, I believe, will be here at X Stadium. The championship week is scheduled for the new stadium. We're all excited about that. And hopefully for many, many more years to come. That is fouled off there by Colin Wolf. As the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Anyway, I was saying that Circle of Love, always in the 8th inning, sings Sweet Caroline. They have some plastic microphones with lights, and they all sing along. That one fouled off, so the count will stay at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That one missing for ball 2. And the new pitcher for San Diego Wave, I apologize, is R.J. Gaines. And a swing and a miss there by Wolf as he goes down for out number 1. And we'll bring up the right fielder, number 34, Jack Pauly. Once again, now pitching for the San Diego Waves is number 20, R.J. Gaines from Mansfield, Arkansas. He's a 6'1", 230-pounder, a graduate from Friends University. He played for the Newton Rebels this last summer, and he's joined in here with the San Diego Waves. Fastball at 89 miles an hour by Gaines, missing for ball 2. Jack Pauly now up at the plate. As we have one down in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The score 9-8. That one called strike. So the count will go now to 2 balls and 1 strike. Ball hit to the right side. First baseman able to go unassisted for out number 2. And that will bring up the first baseman, number 24, Mason Quinion. We have 2 down here in the bottom half of the 8th inning now. Change up there by R.J. Gaines at 73 miles an hour. Went into the dirt. So the count is 1 ball, no strikes. Ball fouled off to the left-hand side, so that will even up the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Great ball game here. A total of 17 runs and 26 hits, 2 errors for both teams. For San Diego, they've scored 9 runs on 16 hits and 2 errors. And for Seattle, there's a swing and a miss, and there's strike number 3 as he took something off, threw that at 76 miles an hour. At the end of 8, it is the Waves 9 and the Studs 8. You're listening to NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I see my daughter, a strong and independent woman, a skilled expert, living her life, and an inspiration to others. What do you see?
And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the 9th inning. The score, the San Diego, California Waves 9 and the Seattle Washington Studs 8. And we got a new pitcher now for Seattle. It will be number 15, Xander Klaus. He's a right-handed thrower from Kenmore, Washington, 6'2", 190-pounder. He's a graduate out of Liberty University. And the first batter that he'll be facing is the right fielder, number 4, Griffin Teicher. Ball is fouled off there by Teicher. So Xander Klaus now in relief. As this is the 6th pitcher used by Seattle here tonight. Once again, both these 2 teams have already qualified to get into the elimination round bracket. So I'm sure that they wanted to give some guys some work. And they have done that with using 6 batters. That ball lifted into right field for out number 1. That will bring up the left fielder, number 5, Derek Lagaza. Lagaza has recorded 2 hits here in the ball game. 74 mile an hour by Klaus. Count is 1 ball, no strikes as he works quickly. That ball hit to the right-hand side. First baseman Quinion moves to his left and makes the catch in foul territory for out number 2. That will bring up the first baseman, number 99, Drew Thomas. Swing and a miss there by Thomas. It is now 12:40 here Central Time in Wichita, Kansas. We are in the top half of the 9th inning. The call strike 2 to Thomas. So the count goes no balls, 2 strikes. So Klaus, swing and a miss there by Thomas as he goes down. So we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcityks.com. We'll be right back.
No one should live a life burdened with type 1 diabetes. And the day is coming when nobody will, because we're here to cure it. And we're working to improve the lives of those affected by this relentless disease today by finding new therapies and advancing them to market, by advocating for greater access and better choices, by deepening our understanding of the disease. At JDRF, we're fighting T1D. We're making life better for those who live with it while creating a world without it.
And we welcome you back here to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series. We're going to the bottom half of the 9th inning. The score is the San Diego, California Waves 9 and the Seattle Washington Studs 8. And we're going to have a new pitcher now for the Waves. Will be number 12, Tegan Aiden will now be coming in relief. And the numbers on correction, I looked at that wrong, and we got number 12. That is Jake Morgan now coming in relief. My apologies. I just looked at the wrong side here. And Morgan is a right-handed thrower from Ballinger, Texas. 6'1", 170 pounders. First batter he'll be facing. Have a pinch hitter now for the Seattle Studs, that is, number 25. Ryan Butnick in pinch hitting. First pitch there by Morgan. Ball 2 now to Ryan Butnick. He comes in relief for Hancock. Swing and a miss there by Butnick. That will take the count now to 2 balls and 1 strike. So we are in the bottom half of the 9th inning, 9-8 in favor of the Wave. That ball lifted into center field. Center fielder Green backing up all the way to the wall, making the catch at the wall for out number 1. That was a good 375 at least. As it is 390 in dead center field. So we have one down, and that will bring up the left fielder number 3, Henry Cheney. Call strike one to Cheney. That's Jake Morgan now working for the San Diego Waves. Submarine or sidearm pitcher. That's a breaking ball at 74 miles an hour in for call strike two. Almost looks like he's going to come underneath, but he actually comes from the side. And here's the pitch. This time he does come more from underneath. Misses for ball one, so the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we have one down here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. San Diego trying to hang on for the victory. Breaking ball. Ball hit to the third baseman, Morales. Morales goes to first base. And we're going to have a base hit there by Cheney. He'll be on at first base. That will bring up the catcher, number 26, Brock Gallardi. Morales didn't have very much on that throw, so he tried to bounce it to first base. And here's the pitch. That one almost hits Gallardi. Fouled off there by Gallardi. And here's the pitch. Just missing. Low for ball 3. Correction, ball 2, it looks like. 2-1 now, the count. So we have a runner on at first base with one down here in the bottom half of the 9th. That one missing for ball 3. So 3-1 now, the count. Jake Morgan trying to get out of this inning. We are in the bottom half of the 9th inning. They are in double play depth. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss there by Gallardi. That was at 82 miles an hour. So count is full now at 3-2. See what Cheney does here at first base. They need a base ball hit to the right-hand side, and it's going to be foul. They need to get him over to second base somehow, as they are down by 1 run here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And the San Diego fans are, Seattle fans, I should say. Seattle fans are, that one missing for ball 4. The Seattle Washington Studs fans are getting a little loud as we're going to have a pinch runner at second base. Looks like it's going to be number 8 for the Studs. That will be Michael Vito, I believe, will be pinch running at second base. Vito is the way you pronounce it. And it's Michael, the first name. All right. They were broke up now at the mound. So now we have runners at first and second with one down. Coming up to the plate with the center fielder number 16, R.J. Green. Green looking for his first hit of the ball game. As he has made contact, though. There's the pitch, and that one missing high for ball one from Jake Morgan. Count is 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at first and second, one down here in the bottom half of the ninth inning. As the Studs are down 9-8, that ball lifted to the left side, shortstop. Kabatabat makes the catch for out number 2. That would bring up the second baseman, number 4, Kyle Strash. Strash has one hit here in the ball game. There's a tying run now at second base with the runner at first. The go-ahead run, or the winning run, I should say, as we are in the bottom half of the ninth inning. That one in for a strike at 83 mile an hour. Strike on the outside corner. So no balls, one strike now to Strash. As we have Vito at second base and Gallardi at first base. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike to Kyle Strash. And here's Morgan's pitch. That one hit to the right side. The third baseman just going to touch the base for out number 3, and that is the ball game with the final score. The San Diego, California Waves 9 and the Seattle Washington Studs 8. So congratulations goes to San Diego as they finish up pool play at 2-1. Seattle Studs end up at 1-2, but they do make the championship week elimination. They'll be playing on Wednesday. Well, we want to thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget tomorrow's action on Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Lone Star Baseball Club from Texas versus the Liberal Kansas BJs. The 3:30 game on Tuesday is the Game Day Saints from Colorado versus the Santa Barbara, California Forsters. The 7 o'clock feature game will feature the Hayesville, Kansas Aviators versus the Great Bend, Kansas Batcats. That's going to be a good game. And then the 9:30 game will be the Derby, Kansas Twins versus the San Diego, California Stars. This is Frank Martinez. We hope you enjoyed the telecast. Thank you very much, Mr. Chris Worrell, for all your hard work. And we'll see you tomorrow. Final score, 9-8. Winners, the San Diego, California Waves. Good night.